Hi, welcome back to The Anxious Girly. Today I want to talk about something that, for the longest time ever, I never realized had a name until now. Well, until recently. I'm hoping that it will help some of you, but let's just dive straight into it. The only way I can describe it is the feeling of rejection constantly, and not even feeling it a little bit, just the slightest little things just set this internal alarm inside your body. It just sets it off and it screams, ah, you're being rejected, you're being rejected. It's doing all sorts. Sometimes it's even that feeling of somebody saying something small, but it's just set something off way deeper than what it should have inside you. And that, my friends, is rejection sensitivity. You may have heard of it, you may not have heard of it. Some people call it RSD for short. It's basically when your emotional reaction to rejection, real or imagined, is a lot bigger, a lot stronger than what was necessary. The only way I can kind of describe it is I'm constantly scanning for rejection. Always. My entire life, I've not known a point in my life where I'm not scanning for rejection. Friends can come up to me and let's say there's an event going on or, they're hanging out somewhere. If they don't directly invite me or they casually drop in, hey, come along if you want, my brain takes that as they don't want you there. They're only asking out of pity. If someone doesn't directly tell me they like me as a person, I will assume that they are tolerating me. And I know that this can be so exhausting to other people. A habit that I think I've recently kicked in the teeth is the way people look at me. Sometimes, let's say a family member or a friend kind of looks at me a certain way, or their mood isn't as jolly as what it could be. I will automatically go into panic mode and constantly be asking, is everything okay? Are you okay? Have I done something to upset you? And even if they say, no, everything's fine, a part of my brain will think, oh God, I've upset them. I've pissed them off somehow. I don't know how to fix this. And that, I'm aware, can be so exhausting to the other person. And for people dealing with somebody so sensitive to rejection. But that's the key thing here. A lot of the times it's not actual rejection. It's just the way our brains interpret it. It's very much a survival mechanism. Gosh forbid if it is actual rejection, it will feel like the world is ending. Seriously. And I'm not joking on that regard. For me, this is something I'm heavily having to work on because in life we come across people where they're not for you, feelings may not be mutual, whether that be relationships, friendships. Even if I am let down in the nicest way possible, inside it's awful. Um it's almost as if life itself has come to an end. It just And I know that sounds so dramatic because to me, if I'm rejected, my self-esteem, my self-confidence, everything is taking a hit, and I will take it in the worst way possible. It's very dramatic. With myself, 9 times out of 10, there seems to be a cycle. And that cycle is a small trigger, which makes me overthink. Overthinking gets me to react emotionally, which then leads me to get butthurt and either withdraw or go into people pleasing mode, which for me is very, I'd probably say 70-30. 70% I go into people pleasing mode, 30% I will withdraw. I think both outcomes are very unhealthy because my brain very much fills in the gaps and it doesn't fill them with kindness. Learning about rejection sensitivity has helped me understand why I am the way I am. Because I am aware of it doesn't mean it doesn't give me a free pass. It's still very much something I have to work on. But It's nice to know that when I was growing up and I was constantly being told that I'm too sensitive, I need to grow a thicker skin, I need to stop feeling as much as I do, that wasn't necessarily true. People used to treat me like I was broken. Now I'm very aware that I'm not broken. There's just something within me that sees this as a survival mechanism, and it's just something to be aware of whenever I do face real rejection or whenever I'm interacting with people and they may not necessarily interact with the world the way I do. Because I like to make things pretty clear. But we're not all the same, are we? I mean, the world would be pretty boring if we were. I'm now aware that because of my sensitivity to rejection and how other people perceive me, I've lived my life people pleasing and having my mood dictated by how others see me or treat me. The nice thing about it is that I've started to notice when it's happening. Whenever I do come across rejection, and I mean like, real rejection, I try not to take it to heart as much now. I used to beat myself up way too much. I would go into this meltdown of I need to figure out why this person has rejected me. Is it because I'm ugly? Is it because I'm boring? Is it because I'm ginger? Is it because I'm pale? I believe me, I would go into everything. But now it's just a case of rejection is redirection. We go this way instead. It's okay. There doesn't necessarily have to be something majorly wrong with me just because somebody doesn't want to be my friend, my partner. And as for the small things, if I start to feel rejected or I start to take things in a negative way, the great thing about self awareness is I'm actively catching myself asking, is this actually negative or am I just assuming? And I've even gone as far as to ask the person, a friend, family, hey, did you mean it in this way? Because that's how I've taken it. And believe it or not, it's actually built trust and a sort of rapport between me and certain people because they know how I think. I now know how annoying it is for the other person to constantly be reassuring me. So sometimes they'll just go, oh, I didn't mean it like that. Or, oh, I can see how it came across like that. I'm not saying that other people should change their actions towards you, but sometimes just having those little steps and having those encouraging people in your life is such a big win. It's so beautiful to just have people in your life that just look out for you in those small ways. And sometimes when they say it, I'll reply with, "Oh, I didn't think anything of it." And most importantly, I can't express this enough, and this goes for everything that deserves a level of emotional reaction. Take space before reacting. The amount of times within the past couple of months, certain things have happened behind the scenes, and I have just wanted to react like that. Like 9 times out of 10, probably almost 10 out of 10. A couple of hours later, or even the next day, I thought, thank goodness I didn't react the way I would have. And I've gone about it in a completely different way. It may not have been a comfortable thing to do, a comfortable conversation to have with someone, but when I've stepped back, I've been so proud of myself for the way that I've handled it, the way I've set my boundaries, and just how much I've grown as a person. And that's just in a couple of months. Could you imagine a couple of years? Rejection sensitivity is so much more complicated than how I've described it. But I just wanted to get the message out there to anyone who is in a similar boat that feeling deeply is not a flaw, but at the same time, not every feeling is fact. And sometimes you just have to check yourself before your emotions go straight into gear. If you resonate with this episode or you feel like you don't really know how to handle rejection, drop a comment below. Let's talk about your experience. We're all learning together. But for now, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I've been the Anxious Girly. Bye.